All right, some people might like this, not like this video. I don't really care. I'm doing the video because I feel like doing it for myself and for people that want to hear. But we back, Mercy Sports Talk, we in the building. Dak Prescott just conceded and signed a franchise tender for over $31 million with the Dallas Cowboys. I think it was the right move. I talked about that in it, more in my other channel. So check that channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV. But it's something that the Lions should keep an eye on, because if he don't do good this season, they're going to pull him and try to put Andy Dalton in there. And obviously, we are having some injury issues with Matthew Stafford. Obviously, like I said before, Stafford is playing on his last guaranteed year with the Lions. Basically, after this year, the Lions can cut Stafford and not owe him nothing or move him. And he's selling his house that has the biggest infinity pool in Michigan. And he said that he's selling it because of the kids. But he already had 3 kids before selling his pool, and he also has a pool at his Georgia house. So the end could be near for Matthew Stafford. And, if the Lions do choose to, trade their pick and try to get Jamal Adams, or they not high enough next year in next year's draft to get Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, or a respectable replacement, think about bringing Dak Prescott in. Let's talk about that. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. I think it's worth keeping an eye on. Obviously, he has a lot of support in Dallas playing with Zeke. He has a solid defense, a solid organization. I don't really care for racist-ass Jerry Jones, though. If you follow my other channel, you know why. I've been articulating that. But the Lions could look for a guy that has quality starts. He's totally different from Stafford. I think he's a little bit more athletic than Stafford. Excuse me, neck be hurting. He's a little bit more athletically gifted than Stafford. He doesn't have the arm talent Stafford has, but he brings some leadership. He brings some quality starts. And if Jerry Jones chews him up and spits him out, 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to give him a big contract. We know how they treat black quarterbacks in the NFL. So you legit can get Dak Prescott if you're not able to get Lawrence or Fields or a good quarterback next year. You can legitimately get Dak Prescott for a really good going rate. The going rate is $30-35 million for a top paid quarterback. If Jerry, messes over Dak next year and Andy Dalton becomes the man or something of that nature, you could really probably get Dak for like $20 million a year. Nobody going to pay Dak if Jerry spit him out. Jerry is like Rakim, Rakim. Follow the leader. Jerry's the leader. And they already don't want to play black quarterbacks. Remember, they almost traded Russell Westbrook to the Cleveland Browns, Russell Wilson to the Cleveland Browns to draft Baker Mayfield in Seattle. They came down to in the 23rd and a half hour. Shit, they went to the 25th hour to pay Russell Wilson. I keep calling it Westbrook, because he asked for a deal before a certain time, and it went over his timeline or his stamp that he gave them, and he still got a deal done. They talking about they don't want to pay Patrick Mahomes. Russell is probably the best quarterback based on tenure and longevity. They didn't want to pay him. They had a problem paying Jared. They had no problem playing Carson Wentz. The Lions had never had a problem playing Matthew Stafford. So we know that color plays a part in the National Football League when they talked about getting paid quarterbacks or running backs. They don't want to pay Dalvin Cook in Minnesota, but they paid Kirk Cousins another 2-year extension, and Cook is the reason why he's good. They didn't want to pay Derrick Henry. He the reason why Ryan Tannehill had a rebirth, but they had no problem paying Ryan Tannehill. So if Dak doesn't come through this year, which Dak had an amazing rookie year playing under a lot of pressure where Jerry was trying to so bad to pull him and put Tony Romo in, he used to playing with pressure. At the end of the day, I wish the best for every black quarterback that comes into this league, straight up and down. I'm not going to mince no words. I wish the best for every one of them because I remember what Warren Moon went through. I remember with Brad Smith. They never gave him an opportunity. Charlie Ward said, if I don't go in the first round, I'm not coming. He went to go play in the NBA. I remember Hines Ward was a quarterback, never got a shot. It's a lot of quarterbacks that never got a shot. They could have been great quarterbacks. Warren Moon had to go to the Canadian Football League to prove himself. Same thing. A lot of these dudes, Steve McNair got slept on and didn't get an opportunity. So, like I said, I remember all the dudes that struggled. So, no matter what Dak did, if he submitted to what Jerry Jones wanted as far as the Kaepernick situation, I still wish him nothing but the best. And he could be a viable option for the Lions going forward next year. If Stafford go out there and ball next year, he's going to be the highest paid quarterback. Straight up and down. He go out there and win a playoff game or make a Super Bowl run, he's going to be the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. If he go out there and be formidable next year and they win 8 games and they make the last and final spot in the playoffs, they're going to pay him a lot of money. But also he's been injured the last 2 years with a back injury that took Tony Romo out and the reason he retired. So at the end of the day, you got to take a look. You know, you can look at Cam. He might be back on the market next year. You got to look at Dak Prescott. And I had to choose between Dak and Cam. I'm going to choose the younger Prescott. I think Prescott, you know, he's a good football player. I think Dallas had done some things that kind of hampered him a little bit. They've done a lot of things to help him. The defense ain't been that great. Kind of been some coaching errors here and there. But it's something worth looking at when you look at Dak Prescott. You know, he fits what you need. He's gonna be a good pay fit, because if Jerry spit him out, he ain't gonna get the money he's looking for. He brings some mobility to the team. You know, with his mobility, he may open up some run lanes for Swift or Johnson, whoever the quarterback. He got enough arm strength to throw it around. You're not throwing him outdoors where he's facing snow. He's playing in a dome, just like he was in Dallas. And he seemed to have great leadership qualities, and that's what some people think Matthew Stafford's lack, because he don't yell or scream. But Dak seemed to be a really, really good leader of men. So don't be surprised. You know, Lions had black quarterbacks before. Charlie Biatch, Andre Ware, Rodney Peete. So they not immune to getting a black quarterback. I think Dak might be a good fit in Detroit if, Matthew moves on or retires this year. So don't rule him out. Obviously, I would rather go with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, or whoever else will be a great quarterback next year coming out. But don't sleep on Dak Prescott coming here as well, because the way Jerry Jones playing, Jerry Jones ain't playing the fair game. Jerry Jones playing it really, really foul. And they may mess around, and you might see Dak on the open market. And if Colin couldn't find a job, if Cam can't find a job, you know what I'm saying, Dak Prescott going to be in the same way. Going to be the same way. So you might see Dak on the market. You see Mariota got a job, and he couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mariota got a job with the Raiders, a good contract. He can't stay healthy. He struggled with Derrick Henry behind him. Ryan Tannehill, who people thought was a bust. Don't forget, Tannehill was a receiver at Texas A&M who converted to quarterback. He came out there balling with that very same team. So why is Mariota got a team and Cam don't? Come on, people saying, well, Kaepernick is washed up. What about Chase Daniels? He couldn't beat out Trubisky. You know what I'm saying? Mariota couldn't beat out Ryan Tannehill. So, like I said before, man, so a lot of people in Detroit, they got this imagination in their head that Stafford's gonna play 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Even after they seen Barry quit, Calvin quit, and Dominic Sue moved on, I think Matthew Stafford is tired, bro. He can say he enthusiastic about. You can't be enthusiastic for 12 years or 11 years getting pounded on and not winning. You know, his win percentage versus winning teams was 48, 46. And that's not entirely his fault. It's just the organization that didn't support him. And you want to be prepared to move on when you move on versus not being prepared. You want to be prepared. So, like I said before, I think Dak Prescott might be a viable option if he slip up in Dallas this year. I know, really, really look at that for a minute. You got to keep your eyes and your ears open in the league, because you may not get Trevor Lawrence. You may not get Justin Fields next year. We may not be the worst team. We may be a team that's on the road next year. We might be 12-4, and Stafford might go down with a back injury. You know, and then we looking for a quarterback next year again. So, you know, like I said before, I think the Lions with a healthy Stafford this year, if they're able to run the ball and get special teams play, and the defense can do what they did last year, even be as sorry as they can, I think the offense got the potential to average 30 points a game. So, but if Stafford go down, man, Dak Prescott got to be an option. You know, if they don't sign him to a long-term deal. So we'll see July 15th. If July 15th come and go, he don't have a deal, be prepared for him to get railroaded for Andy Dalton next year if things don't start going right. But it is what it is. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, Stafford's never going anywhere. Stafford's going to be quarterback in Detroit to 2030. I ain't never seen so many people defend sorry-ass athletes like I see in Detroit. Like Luke Kennard, people get mad because I say shit. He ain't shit, you know, because of the knee injury. Oh, Luke Kennard is great. Yeah, okay. People argue over Matthew Stafford and say, oh, you should debate this guy. I ain't debating nobody. Well, what's the point of debating people when people don't have an open mind? Man, all I got to say is he's 6-46 or 6-48 versus teams above 500. What else do we need to talk about? It's not completely his fault. But let's just say Eric Kramer still holds all the playoff passing records for the Lions. Hey, but I appreciate y'all. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All the links in the description. Want to make a donation, Cash App, PayPal description. But that's just something to think about one time for the one time we gone.